this afternoon with Rebecca Lafleur, Interim Dean of School of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Lafleur joined the CNR faculty in 1999 as an assistant professor of psychology and was promoted to associate professor in 2003. During her time on the faculty, she served as chairperson of the psychology department, director of the Women's Studies program, and oversaw the revision of the core curriculum. She holds a BA in psychology from Smith College and an MA and PhD in social psychology and a graduate certificate in women's studies from Temple University. She has conducted research in the areas of sexual harassment and the stigma of feminist identity. And she's currently examining the phenomena of fat talk among young women. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Lafleur.
Hi, thank you for coming. Let's see. Do we have slides posted? There we go. So I had a chance to look at some of the questions that were submitted prior to this event, and many of them had to do with the transition to CoEd. So I wanted to just start there and talk a little bit about that. Sort of my own personal reflections as well. You may have heard, I'm a graduate of a women's college as well. One of the things that drew me to CNR in the School of Arts and Sciences was that it was a women's college, so I was very committed to that. And it hit me hard as well when they made the decision to go CoEd. I described at the time that it being very sad, that it was a loss. But I also had to reflect on what it was like teaching in SAS over the past few years. As enrollment had gotten lower and lower, sometimes we would have upper level classes with only 4 students in it. And that was somewhat sad as well, to not be able to deliver the curriculum that we necessarily wanted to as many students as we wanted to. So I wanted to talk about how we've adjusted the past 2 years, what it's been like now that we've gone CoEd. The biggest change has been the impact on enrollment. The numbers have gone up the past 2 years. I did a quick scan of our numbers this morning, and we currently have 369 students registered this semester in the School of Arts and Sciences. Of those, the majority are still women. We have 265 women and 104 men, and 125 first years. So we welcomed a really large first year class, which was exciting. Those of you who were at first year convocation this year may have seen that. The chapel was packed and very, very exciting. A lot of the other questions I saw had to do with the effect that it's had on our academic programs. And I can honestly say it hasn't in what we are offering the students. Our curriculum is still very centered on gender equity, lots of classes on women's experiences, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Faculty are very committed to women's studies. In fact, 50% of our faculty either are on the Women's Studies Committee or offer courses that are part of the Women's Studies curriculum. So we see that sort of across the board through many of our majors and programs. In terms of our goals, though, of how we want to keep moving forward with it, when the decision was made to go CoEd, the Women's Studies Committee had sponsored a few brown bag workshops for students on how do you maintain gender equity in the classroom as you go CoEd. That's something I think that we still want to continue with maybe the Faculty Development Committee taking the lead on that and trying to figure out what do faculty need to know, what do students want to address, and trying to keep that line of communication going. The other big piece, and I could probably spend a whole half hour talking about this, I'll just give you an overview. We recently revised our core curriculum. And when I say recent, I should probably, in academic terms, that tends to move rather slowly. But we hadn't had a full revision of the core curriculum since 1999 when I arrived. It had just launched a new core curriculum. In 2012, the faculty of SAS said, it's time to revisit this. We need to look at what's working, what's not, start enacting some changes. So this really was a faculty-driven initiative, very student-centered. And we spent several years conducting surveys of students, of faculty, on what was missing from the core curriculum, what do we want to make sure we keep within the core curriculum, and ended up developing a really exciting program that is both interdisciplinary, focused on the liberal arts, focused on the mission of the college, has 4 main goals that we try to accomplish through the core curriculum. We still want to focus on core skills, make sure that our students are effective writers, communicators, that they have a solid background in math, in foreign languages, but also focusing on that they have a breadth of knowledge, that they are critical and creative thinkers, that they are engaged both individually and socially with their larger communities. So to enact all of that and enable all of that, we've developed a core curriculum that has 3 basic components. The skills component of the core curriculum may be maintained from our previous core, focus on writing, focus on math, focus on languages, but we really increased that. We now require, in addition to the writing skills classes, writing intensive courses within their major, within other parts of the core curriculum. We've added a quantitative literacy class, so not only are they learning basic math skills, they're also learning how to apply that to their own discipline. What I'm probably most excited about is our signature program. We used to have a first-year seminar that students took. We still continue to do that, but we said we lose them along the way. We get them as first years, and then we see them again in a capstone class as seniors, but we want to have a seminar every single semester. We want there to be this connection. So we've linked that. Every single year, students take a seminar, and it's linked to one of the goals of the core curriculum. And this has really revitalized our course offerings. We've seen some really creative courses offered. Just a few examples of these seminars: understanding happiness, gender and leadership, health communication, marks for the millennium, the global food basket, globalization and discontent. These are all new courses created just in the past 2 years. So I think we're going to continue to see this type of revitalization and introduction of new courses. And then finally, to make sure they get the breadth of knowledge that we would expect from a graduate of CNR, we have a modes of inquiry component where there are 5 basic areas: scientific investigation, contemporary global perspectives, inquiry into the past, creative expressions, and ethics and values. And these all, they tend to be less disciplinary based. We now have a variety of courses from a variety of areas within each of those modes of inquiry. So I wanted to highlight some of our programs and initiatives. Some of these have been around for quite some time, others are rather new. Our honors program continues to thrive. This is a really exciting program. We currently have about 40 students across all 4 years who are enrolled in the program. They're very active on campus. One of the exciting things for our honor students is that for at least the past 4 or 5 years, every semester, we've had 1 student selected to participate in the Williams Mystic Maritime program. So they are studying abroad, studying away from school, from CNR for an entire semester. They're on the boat, they're learning to sail, they're learning about maritime policy, and really exciting opportunity, and that's exciting to see that relationship continue. They also regularly present at both local and national conferences. Our new major in Justice and Criminal Studies is quite exciting. It is housed within the Social Sciences division, but is also interdisciplinary in nature. Sociology, political science, psychology courses all fall into this area. We have a program in the works, Women, Gender, and Sexuality. This was launched by the Women's Studies Committee, meant to be sort of an enhancement of the Women's Studies major, which those of you might be familiar with our current major. You can't major just in Women's Studies. It's an add-on to another major. We wanted there to be an opportunity to be a standalone major for students who are interested in that. So we're hoping that this will get approved sometime in the near future and we can start offering it to our students. Certificate programs have been launched over the past few years. These tend to be about 15 to 18 credits, so they're similar in size to a minor, but they're more interdisciplinary and focus on some really interesting topics: community action, forensic studies, Latin American and Caribbean studies, legal studies, sports marketing. So they allow students to take courses from a variety of different areas, but to package them in a way that they have a credential afterwards, where they can say, I received a certificate in this particular area. And finally, I wanted to mention another initiative that I was involved with, the Institute for Women's Leadership and Social Justice. This was developed by faculty and administration back in the spring of 16, I believe. And we are ready to go with that. And on paper, it is written, and now we've been collaborating with College Advancement to try to find the funding so that we can actually make this a reality. And I'd be happy to talk about all of this in more detail in the question and answer phase. But I have time for one last slide, which is how we collaborate across the schools. You may not be aware that we actually have several accelerated programs with the graduate school now. These are programs where a student in their 4th year can actually start taking graduate courses. So they end up graduating with their bachelor's from the School of Arts and Sciences and a master's degree from the graduate school. So we have programs in art education, communication management and media, school psychology and education, and we're looking to expand these to provide more offerings as we move forward. And I also saw a few questions about how nursing, the School of Nursing and Health Professions and SAS collaborate. School of Arts and Sciences continues to support the School of Nursing. In fact, I think almost half of the credits that the School of Nursing students take come from the School of Arts and Sciences. So we work really closely together to make sure that all students from both schools are being served. So with that, I see that I'm at my end. I will turn it over to our next